Thank you guys for attending the third triennial town hall. These discussions are our way of helping you guys as the members get more involved in the club, know what's going on. Open forum. If you guys have any questions that maybe you've heard discussed, in unofficial meetings or anything like that, it just kind of gives us an official space to raise any questions, concerns, get involved, see what's going on, and see how you guys can help the club or hear about some of the new things that are coming down the pipe.
Can you put the computer in front of you, like so you're like pointing at everybody and pointing at the computer too? Like when you're facing away from the computer, it doesn't work.
Right. Good feedback there. Perfect. Okay, so first things first, I wanted to give a shout out to all of the winners of the Silicon Valley Classic. It's one of our major tournaments of the year. So for MPO through FA1, Danny Christensen's right over there, our FA1 champion. Congratulations. And then one more slide over, we got our MA40 through MA3 winners as well. Congratulations to them. I'm looking forward to having the events again this year, and appreciate all the hard work that Nick and his team have put into hosting that event. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, we have an event calendar on our website. We keep that as accurate as possible. You can check it out, svdgc.org/events-calendar. You can also just go on to svdgc.org, click on events calendar from the main page, then you'll be able to see this calendar. This also coincides with what you see on Facebook. So the Facebook events and the events that you see listed here are all current.
Yeah.
Hey. Happy to have you. All right, another attendee just showed up. So just a couple of calls. The Bag Tag Challenge registration is live. If you haven't had a chance, go and register for that. It's one of our most fun events of the year. You get to come and meet everyone at the club. You go out and you're just competing for tags. There's no cash prizes or anything like that. It's that chase for the #1 tag. We are working on some additional items for the membership packs this year. We're pretty excited about that. Nothing's finalized yet, so not ready to fully announce, but there are plans in the works for bringing a bit more value to that membership pack. Annual membership meeting is next Saturday at Kelly Park. That is the membership meeting that all the members come meet with the board. We vote on the next year's board members. This year we didn't have any applicants that weren't already board members. That happens sometimes. But come on out and again, it's another opportunity to discuss the club and what our official plans are for the 2024 year. And our weekly triples and putting league is still ongoing. So triples at Raza on Sundays. There's still a $500 ace spot out there, and you only need $1 to buy into that. And then we also have our weekly putting league at Papa's on Tuesdays. That's been a really popular event and has really grown a lot. Come on out if you haven't already. All right. So next is the town hall survey responses. Again, thank you for everyone that has responded to those. Just kind of acts as a primer for this meeting, and kind of gives us some substance to talk about at the beginning. So I usually start with event feedbacks. The event that we are starting off with is Silicon Valley Classic. First feedback was I would prefer to only play Roz and Hellyer one time through, not two. It would also be fun to incorporate Via Maria, understanding that it would be hard due to the size and location of the course. It's also worth noting I did send all these feedbacks over to Nick Pantages, who's the TD for this event. So he has all this feedback as well. We need to get volunteer information out early with key areas that need coverage so that people can feel comfortable in their volunteer role. Multi-course and staggered starts seem to work really well. Basket location should be fully verified a couple days before. Parking should be blocked off at Kelly so participants know where to park. Swag was awesome. Love the lightweight hoodie. We need stickers. Personal favorite, starting at a single tee box was cool, seeing all the competitors. So I'm guessing this was probably one of the Group B or C players. For those that don't know, at Hellyer Park, we actually had Ben Palm announcing all the players as they started off at their first hole at Hellyer Park. It was a pretty cool thing. Fun event overall. Thanks for all the hard work. Couple of issues I would like to raise. Event needed to provide more water on the courses. The event needed to pay close attention to some PDGA rules about marking restricted space for mandatories. They're not marked on the course. And rules about OB and mandatory reteeing requires a waiver from the PDGA. It does not matter what the course rules are. So again, I've passed this information on to Nick, so he can address those. Some more feedbacks from the Silicon Valley Classic. Great event, ran smoothly and efficiently. Glad it's back and here to stay. Great, very well run and handled. Thanks so much to everybody who helped. Courses were in great condition. Hellyer played really slow. Need to figure out a better flow of play and coordinate the moving of players between courses. Loved it. Could use a few more bathrooms at Kelly. Great community of respectful people. Layout was good. Couldn't participate in the tournament, but played the layout a few times. Wish I had played in it. Great event. Love it. Don't let me get COVID right before the tournament next time. Really well run though. This year's format of 18 at Hellyer and 18 at La Raza was an improvement over 2022. But I think that's kind of an important call out too is, as you can see, we get feedbacks that go to either side of the spectrum. We have some people that are saying, oh, we should only do one rotation. We have other people that are saying, hey, 18 at every course was great. All right, moving right along. Putting league. So let's hear. So this is a putting league that we hold at Hoppus on Tuesdays. Feedbacks. Tough time to hit. Location is pretty good. Parking is tough with this many participants. Yes, it's a known pain point. I don't know that we have a solution for it. Hoppus is a really great location for us. The hosts are really accommodating and they support the event a lot. So I wouldn't like to see it move away from there, but yeah, parking is an issue. The only thing I can suggest is try to get there early if you can. I know it's a tough time. And it's also, middle of the week on Tuesdays. Super fun. Thanks for hosting. They're fun. I think they start a bit too early. It's hard to commit to putting league when it's still hot outside. I think it should start after the time change. So obviously the survey's been around for a couple of months. So I scheduled the putting league to happen a month after we stop doing doubles on Thursdays. Yeah. And then I do the same thing on the other end. Is I take a month break and then I start up putting league. I start up doubles after putting league ends. I'm not sure I understand what it means by it's still hot outside. I'm guessing it's because it's still hot, so people are trying to get games in instead. To me, putting league is a pretty low. There's not a whole lot of pressure to putt every week. It's a pretty casual event. So missing a couple of weeks because you want to get some games in, totally understand, and that's fine. Not a fan of young kids in the league at the brewery. Don't like being paired with young kids. Need to either have rules or not. Choosing sometimes, of course, in non frustrating. Require someone on each team to keep an eye on challenge. Know when you're up and where. So I think I know we'd left this feedback, and I didn't. Oh, yep, sorry. So the next feedback was that they're not a fan of young kids in the league at the brewery. They don't like being paired with young kids. And they need to either have rules or not, choosing to sometimes enforce them and others not, requiring someone on each team to keep an eye on challenge. That's the software that we use to keep track of the brackets. And know when you are up and where. So I did talk, I believe I know who left this feedback. I did talk to them offline about the situation, and what had happened was we have a 5-minute rule, which is after your game is called, you're supposed to start your game within 5 minutes to keep the flow going, because the bar does close at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And so we do have a rule that if your team is not there and ready to play after 5 minutes being called, you get disqualified. At the end of the day, and this is what I explained before, we're there to give people an opportunity to play. And I don't think anyone wants to win just because the other team gets disqualified. And we always try to give the benefit of the doubt of, hey, when that game was called, maybe they were in the bathroom, maybe they were outside, maybe they didn't hear. As long as you let us know, hey, the other team's not there, we can do another call and set the timer at that point, because now it's on our radar. We're managing 6 games happening simultaneously, and it's hard when we have just one station. The young kids in the league, again, this is one of those kind of contentious points. Some people absolutely love having the juniors there, watching them improve. We've now seen in just the last 2 weeks, juniors either get up to the Final Four or just get up to like the game before the Final Four. And it's really, really cool to see. It brings a lot of positive energy. And it's also a great opportunity for parents to bring out their kids and spend some time doing this sort of activity with them. So I see both ends of it. I totally understand. Sometimes you get paired up with a kid and, maybe they're not putting as well and maybe they're not as focused. I totally get that frustration. I do think that the positives outweigh the negatives there. And there's definitely feedback going both directions with that. Looks like pizza number 1 has arrived. Should consider 2 brackets / lowers for less experienced players, uppers for elite players. I also don't agree with this. It's putting league. It's a 25-foot putt. Anyone and everyone is capable of making a 25-foot putt, and you get better by playing with better people. And we've seen it time and time again. People that used to rainbow putts are now line driving it center hole. And the only way they got that good was like by getting paired up with a scooter, getting paired up with a Nick Garcia or a Ronald Powers or an Isaiah Oliver. And you watch these players just increase and you see how many points they get year over year. And you can see the improvement there. It's totally good that it's frustrating when you get a partner that maybe, isn't one of those key players. But at the same time, we've seen we've got a lot of passion here about disc golf. A lot of passion. But yeah, so I totally understand, sometimes it can be frustrating to not take one of those.
2 minutes.
Still a little loud. Anyway, so we've also seen it where 2 players that could be considered quote unquote B tier have gone all the way to the finals, or caused an A spot to push, or even taken the whole event. So for putting league, I don't feel it's the same as going out to a course and playing a doubles match there, where you have clear determination of, okay, these are A players, these are B players. We should pair them together to try to give an equitable field. Putting league, I just don't feel is the same. I don't feel it's apples to apples. Can it be played twice a week? No. I don't have that time, and I'm not signing Katie and Brian up for that either. Haven't tried it, probably should. You absolutely should. It's the easiest way to spend $6 each week. Traffic making it hard to get to. That is true. 280 is awful. Meridian is awful. 85 and 87 are awful. Sorry. I don't control the traffic. Generally positive. Juniors, beginners should be placed in separate pool of partners. Already commented on that. So it was there should be another juniors and beginners should be put into their own separate pool. No, it was another feedback, and I said I already commented on that. Yeah. Okay. This one is really exciting. So, as some of you already know, 2024, we are planning our initiative of Make Hellyer Hell Yeah. So a lot of our focus for course improvements for 2024 is going to be on the Hellyer course, which is the one that started it all for us. Going on 26 years ago now. So we're really excited about it. We have some plans. We've already put some of those in play. Those that have gone and played, you've seen the new signage out there. It matches the Kelly T-pad signs. We have a course map sign that is getting the graphics all figured out for, and then we're gonna have that printed, nice big course sign for Kelly and for Hellyer. We have plans for baskets coming. And we are looking at PO abatement and what that is going to entail. More details on that later, but let's jump into the feedback. So the question was, what are the improvements that you would like to see at Hellyer? So the first one on there was renumber the holes so that everyone starts at the same hole. I don't see that happening. They're talking about renumbering either 5 or 8 to be hole 1 at Hellyer. Yeah. That's due to the parks really wanting us to use the parking lot at Hellyer next to the lake and then walking up to hole 1. A bathroom. So we are severely limited in the construction that we can do at Hellyer. That's why there's not a bathroom there. That's why it exists where it does over at the Hellyer Park proper. And it's because it's part of the Anderson Reservoir floodplain. So when they release that an emergency flow, that Hellyer becomes a lake. All the baskets, everything are under 10 feet of water. We saw it, was it 2014? 2017? So 2017, there's a picture floating around of Aaron literally in a kayak at hole 4. It's pretty awesome. You see the top of the sycamore tree in the background. Goats for PO abatement. So I have talked to numerous people, numerous organizations that do the goat abatement of weeds. We don't have enough land. They won't even consider us at Hellyer. They won't even consider us for Kelly. And it's just because we don't have a big enough area. The other thing is with goats, and a lot of people don't realize this, they will destroy any trees that are there as well unless you protect the trees, which again is additional cost, additional labor, because the goats will go up and they'll actually eat all the bark around the tree, immediately kills the tree. So goats are not an option. New signage. We have new signs. They're on every T-pad now, short and long. Before we only had signs on the long T-pads. We have them on short and long now. They're brand new. We got rid of the discs and now we use bolts in order to show which pin is active like we do at Kelly Park. They came out really, really good. Thank you for everyone that helped to sponsor those and get them put up, all the laborers involved, because it was a lot of digging. New baskets. Those are in plan and in the works. The club is actually going to be ordering up those new galvanized Mach 7s so that we can get those installed over at Hellyer. And again, there's going to be more announcements about making Hellyer Hell Yeah coming up here very shortly. Remove poison oak, improve signage, same thing. All T signs are facing the wrong direction. They should be in line with the hole like they were before. It can be confusing to first-time players. So that was a decision that was made because the signs increased in size. Before they were much smaller footprint, and they were only at the long T-pads. So if we'd kept the signs in line, you would have had a very large 12 by 12 piece of plywood and on some of the holes right in the line of your drive. To alleviate that, we opted to go in line with the T-pads, just like we did at Kelly Park. And we've had, again, this is one of those things that we've had feedback both ways. Some people don't like that the signs are in line with the T-pads. Some people like that the signs are in line with the T-pads, but that is the reasoning why. It's because the signs increased in size. And now we have a single pole at each T-pad instead of multiple. We still need to remove some of the old signs from Kelly. Just keeping down the weeds. We agree. As Jim said, last year we kind of threw bogeys when it came to maintenance. A lot of that came down to we were short volunteers. We had an enormous amount of precipitation, which caused a huge amount of growth, more so than we usually get. We had a number of equipment issues last year, either rentals breaking down or our own equipment breaking down. And again, you know, not having the workforce for courses not named Kelly. Already running out of time. All right, so we may be switching to that other meeting if that happens. I put that link in the chat. Tom, are you able to see that link? Tom, I don't know if your microphone is set up or not. There is a link in the chat.
That Tom Wong, you want me to send him the link?
Yeah, if you could send him the link, Toby, I'd appreciate it. All right, continuing on with Hellyer. Clear out all the low branches and bushes, giving 2 feet of low clearance, not just at Hellyer. Trim the trees on hole 8. Okay, so trim the trees on hole 8. Left side, bring in 6 feet and remove the low branches. Trim the tree leading to 9. And better baskets.
You got that right.
So kind of already addressed the baskets. I like some of the ideas of trimming up at Hellyer on hole 8. So I'm assuming they're talking about all those guardian trees between the tee pad and where the fishbowl of baskets are on hole 8. So definitely something that we can take a look at as we do the labors. Remove all poison oak at all courses and reorder the numbers so 5 or 8 are number 1. So we commented on that earlier. We are looking at plans for removing the poison oak. It's not the cheap. We've got a number of quotes and we're working in the logistics of that right now. Removing the poison oak over at Hellyer. Yeah, it's an expensive endeavor. I've gotten a few quotes for it, and we're still working out logistics and how that gets funded and all that. So more of those details to come. More regular grooming, new signs, repair tee pads. We got the new signs. Repairing the tee pads, I believe that is part of our plans. Along with looking at doing the maintenance on the stairs. And then more regular grooming. We agree, but we can't do it by ourselves. We've got to get volunteers out to courses not named Kelly. We typically do get a good number of volunteers, right around that 10 mark. Could always use more because Kelly is massive. But when it comes to like work days at Hellyer, work days at Raza, work days at Via Maria, we just don't get anybody out. And there's only so much a one-legged guy and and an insurance salesman can deal with a couple of weed whackers. We need more people. So yes, we agree with you. We would love to see more people come out to Hellyer and help us weed whack, because even though it's not our largest course, it has the most amount of elevation change and it is a lot of hard work. Clearing hole 8 tree and brush near the short position landing areas. So yeah, they're talking about those trees right next to like the A position on 8. Maybe add some tee pads to some holes to make it a 21 to 24 hole layout. You can make it 27 by going through a third time. I don't know if we really have the space to put any more tee pads there without interfering with the flow of the course. How are we looking on time? Okay, so we still have like. Okay, renumber the course so 1 starts at the top of the hill. Why does that keep changing? Probably because I keep moving this. Here. There we go. Can you guys still hear me okay online?
Yeah, it seems fine to me.
Okay. Renumber the course so that 1 starts at the top of the hill. Signage or indicators of where the next tee pads are. UDisc adds or a QR code to a course map or something to help new players on the bag trees. Okay. I believe the course map has a QR code for the course map that we have coming does have a QR code for UDisc on it, as well as one for the club. So that's good. That's good feedback there. Signage or indicators of where the next tee pads are. I'm assuming that means like on the baskets. Something, yeah, just a little arrow. Didn't we try the basket indicators at Kelly before? Huh? Yeah. I know that the issue that we had, I believe we tried them at Kelly and then the natives made off with them as their new treasures, but it might work better at Hellyer because we don't really have the homeless population, just the vandals. So yeah, that's definitely something we can take a look at. Numbers are one thing that I would like to see, is renumbering the course. Everyone parks on the road at the top of the hill. If you play Hellyer and do not park at the top of the hill, it's because it is full, not because you wanted to park at the park. It makes sense that number one would be at the top of the hill. I'm sure that the response to this will be, it's not going to change because that is how it has always been, or the city county won't let us change it. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I don't see a numbering of Hellyer happening. Especially after the new signs have already been made. If you really want to grow the sport, you should consider making it more accessible. When I say more accessible, I mean easily understood or appreciated. Number one, tee pads being just about as far away from where you park is as it can be, is not easily understood or appreciated. Just about every course I've played puts the first tee pad near the parking lot and the last hole ends near the parking lot. Which is funny because the parking lot for Hellyer is officially at the park, so it does flow that way by design. But everybody parks at the top. What's that? What's the history?
And the first two holes are in the park, and then we're gonna cross the creek by putting in temporary bridges during the winter time or the summertime. And then what we have is our 9 holes is the back 9. They did not want anybody parking on Hellyer Avenue and access, and they wanted you to go through the system and pay your money and make it work that way. In our original agreement, they had they said if people started accessing off of Hellyer, they're gonna put up a fence at our expense to keep them out. And so that's why it numbered that way. We actually had it as a back 9 to begin with. And then we never developed the front 9 because they didn't want it to happen. So everything just kind of blew up for 18 holes. And we had, it labeled as the back 9, anticipation of getting the front 9 done later. Yeah. Then we switched it just to 9 holes only.
Yeah.
And then we've never bothered to change it from that point on. But we were driven by the county to not have people access from Hellyer Avenue. They didn't want people to park.
There's another word that just leave the numbers the way they are and post a sign up on the
Yeah.
most people start here.
Pretend like this is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So basically. I mean, I can make that change, but you can also just change your starting hole when you create the scorecard.
Yeah, I'm imagining that the only reason that people would think of this is because of what you did and not knowing how to think the starting hole. Otherwise.
No.
Why isn't that? Like that's the only reason. Yeah.
Oh, I remember playing Hellyer my first time and I had no idea where to go. But this was even before U-Disc was a thing in the club.
I was walking around first, like I saw 5 minutes, like I don't know what it is, and it took me forever to. There should be like if you can have it like you put the ones that start on 8. Start on 8 should be like the first one that shows up. The first
I can easily do a start on 8 and a start on 5. That's fine. I like having the other layouts starting at 1 just because when we do have tournaments, we start at 1. And so it's easy to just grab those layouts and say, okay, this is the tournament layout. But yeah, I can go ahead and create some layouts that start at 5 and some layouts that start at 8. That's not a problem.
I was gonna say, why can't we just have an additional
Layout
layout for a tournament?
Oh. Yeah, so typically for tournaments, we use one of the existing layouts. So there actually is like a tournament layout that's a double rotation that goes, I believe it's short to long or long to short, one of the two. And so we're able to assign that layout to a tournament that's scored through UDisc. And so one of the
So adding an
suggestions-
additional one from hole 8 wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, not an issue at all. I can create layouts all day long.
Great.
Okay, so the feedback went on to say a player's first visit to Hellyer goes something like this. They park on the street and see the practice basket and some tee pads with the signs, but the number one tee pad is nowhere to be found. They pull out their phone, open up UDisc, and start wandering towards one. If you consider it from a new player to the sport that does not have UDisc, it is even more confusing. The first time I played at Hellyer, I played 3 holes in left because I did not know where to go. I think I saw an ad for UDisc at Via Maria or Kelly Park, and I had been playing for months. So again, I can't, can't really disagree. Right, there we go. Boop.
Yeah, we used to have a map board out here to make it a little easier.
And we will again. We got to get the graphics finalized and printed, and then we'll have a nice big 40 by 60 inch sign installed out there. So that is in the works.
One of the problems is that these little map takes you to Hellyer Elite.
It
so
does.
anybody looking for the course is going to follow that. I'm sure that's what you just takes you to instead of the page marker.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to go there unless there's
Yeah.
good signage saying do not start.
Yeah.
Is there a one thing I don't remember at Hellyer, but is there a play on UDisc, like QR code, download the app here? I've seen those kind of UDisc signs at other courses.
Yeah, so we had UDisc signs and they got vandalized. So I need to reach out to UDisc and get another set of signs. Their system shows that we've already been shipped signs, and it's only like 4 developers that work at UDisc. I have their emails. I just need to reach out to them and get new signs. But their system, when you try to order it through them, just immediately denies the request because it shows that we've had signs already. So I just need to reach out to them and say, hey, can you please send me some new signs? And I will get that handled personally.
Will there be a QR code on the big board, the main map board?
Yeah, so the main course map will have a QR code for UDisc. And it'll go directly to the course. So Danny, to your point, I believe part of the issue is that we already remade all the signs. There's also the believe it or not, the perpetuity sponsors that sponsored the original holes. If you try to change their hole numbers, it's a whole thing. They get really, really upset about it. And it's just not even worth the hassle. Like you bought hole 1 and now all of a sudden you're going to be hole 7. Yeah, the number is important to them. And the new sign did already get printed and installed. So, and there it's going to be a long time where those signs expire. Those things are cool. I hit them with spray paint and wiped it off with a paper towel after it dried for 48 hours. Yeah, and I think for Hellyer, it's an excusable quirk. There's a lot of history there. There's like, it's one of those things where just Hellyer is the way it is, and there's reasons why it's the way it is. And so like being able to delve into kind of that history is for me kind of a cool thing. Yes, it does mean that we have oddities such as everyone starts on either hole 5 or hole 8, and that's just the way it is. And actual hole 1 is all the way at the other side.
You could also lean into it and have like a sign that says, wow, this is the craziest weirdo course I've ever been to. And like, have like, why is it the way it is? Okay, well,
So there are they've now changed those signs on Hellyer. Where now like parking above a certain point, they'll say, okay, there's no parking past this sign. But even after talking with the Hellyer guys, like they don't really call anyone unless there's like an abandoned vehicle there. That being said, they absolutely could totally come and take your car or tow it away if you park where you're not supposed to. So it's at your own risk.
I feel like it's like a common thing that people request to change. Like last time we came to one of these, somebody wanted to change the phone number.
Yes.
So I'm like, why did anybody want to change the number? All the time, like the number, why are you changing the number?
That's a great question. All right. And so now we have the free responses, additional comments, questions, feedback. So I actually really liked this next one, and we are taking action on it. So work with the city on parking costs, yearly SVDGC Club Pass. I just realized I said club there, but SVDG Club Pass. This would help the city also track disc golf interest at parks. So we are currently reducing to writing and reaching out to the city about a more formal agreement that the city would have with the club. Once that's done, we'll also be reaching out to the county. We are looking at negotiating some sort of parking agreement with them. Again, it's going to come down to whether or not they want to come and play ball and what that would look like, how it would be managed. So there's a lot of unknown unknowns. Did you have more feedback or?
Yeah, it's up to the city and the county to come back. We open the door for them. And I think the idea.
Yeah, so it is something that we're working on. I reached out to Tom and Jim as soon as this feedback came in. And so that has been put in motion. We are working on doing something along those lines. I don't have any more information other than it's in progress and we are attempting to get something done. Would really like to see a singles league at the courses with a TD each week who gets to set the layout and a bunch of key holders who can change the basket positions. See San Francisco Club for a great model of this. I'm not sure. So we have singles events. We have weeklies. But we do have March Madness as well as the Summer Series trifecta.
Yeah, there's a weekly, a single, not a monthly or quarterly.
Not a seasonal thing, it's year round.
Yes, that one is cumulative.
That's like that. Yeah, year round.
Cleaning it.
No, it's not my comment, but like March Madness, for instance, if you get paid, they have to like play it most of it. And that's
Okay.
different from just showing up.
Gotcha.
So it is a little different than here.
Okay, I think I better understand now. So the biggest thing is having a TD to do it. Number one, we're not gonna pass out the combo to the baskets to a whole bunch of people. That's just asking for bad things to happen. Raza being the one exception, because Raza is its own community, it feels like. But it's important that the people that are able to move the baskets are narrowly scoped, especially because it's already hard enough with the basket movers that we have to keep UDisc up to date. Thank you for everyone, Kelly. I know you reach out to me all the time. When you see something that's not lined up on the courses and UDisc, let me know and I will get it fixed. But that being said, if there are people that are interested in doing a TD for an event like, you know, a weekly series event at the courses, come and talk to us. We will get you set up. You do not have to be a board member to run events. You know, case in point, we have Nick Pantage's Method, who every year does the Silicon Valley Classic. We have Brian Earl, who has graciously taken over the monthly bag tags for me, and he's been running them very successfully all year. You do not have to be a board member to get involved. you know, have ownership in your club. You want to see it happen, come make it happen. We will help you out and give you the support that you need to make something like that happen. But come and talk to us. Let's get it organized. Let's make sure that all the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed.
Would that be something you have to also negotiate with the
So a weekly series, I'm going to go ahead and say probably not, because you're not going to have the volume of people. So we don't typically have to worry about permits until we have over 50.
Well, the county is a little more strict. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure what the gathering number is for. The
Sure.
city.
And the other thing to
But,
keep
you know,
in mind,
when we do the singles event, and that was the beauty of COVID. We didn't have a big group of people that would indicate that we had a tournament.
yeah,
And the beauty was, we could run a tournament and not have to get a permit. Because we sent everybody out on a single mission,
yeah,
and that has been a really good format, it's saved us a lot of.
Yeah.
Permit.
and the other thing to keep in mind is if you are running those singles events, just like when we run doubles, just like when we run triples, you can't close the course. It's still open to the public. So people
Now,
can,
the city says we cannot close Kelly Park.
yeah,
Our agreement with the county is when we run our events, we can close.
but that's when we're doing a permitted thing, right?
Well, you know, when we run our Sunday,
Yeah,
yeah, or Tuesday, whenever we do it in the summertime.
right.
And we run those things, we can close the course with the county, we cannot close the course.
county is over in Rossa.
And via Marina,
And the.
Yeah, so it's just the city. it's-
And is
yeah.
it,
yes.
Kelly would be the one that we discarded and closed down or?
Yeah, they won't
You
let us-
can't close it down.
Yeah, basically, we can't-
No.
Yeah,
We can, on our larger events, we're able to encourage people to play elsewhere.
So do you have two different contracts, one for Kelly and Rossa and Via?
no, we have one agreement with the city for Kelly Park, and then the county is the other.
Do you have an agreement with the county?
Yeah,
So there's two different agreements, one with the county is,
And one for the city.
one for the city.
Yes,
so there's two.
yes.
They're not the same.
They are not the same entity. They have their own, no, no.
No, we cannot use spray in the county.
Yeah.
We can't spray stuff. No, the city allows us to spray. I mean, there's a little settlement.
Yeah.
between the two.
And there's also differences in the protections that we have to do for the trees and things like that, depending on if we're dealing with county or city. There's differences in what our allowances without approval for improvements or maintenance come in. For county versus city. So there's a lot of nuances. That's why we tell people, don't go out and just start cutting on trees. You gotta come and talk to us. Get approval before you doing anything other than weed whacking fairways. Don't go and cowboy it, because we can lose courses over that kind of stuff. Okay. Moving right along. Oh, I guess I copy pasted that one twice. Y'all do a great job. Thanks. For any course changes, I think the club members should be notified prior to them happening. Gives an opportunity to hear suggestions and even get help support. Unfortunately, the new T signs at Hellyer and KB were done poorly and it shows. I think if there would have been open communication to club members about them going in, you could have gotten support and help for the installation and suggestions that and suggestions so that they'd be built and staged better. So if you need any more proof that I just give the raw feedbacks as they're written to me, here it is. I'm not really sure what to do with this feedback. The KP project in and of itself, I emailed Facebook personally. I sent out the emails, I Facebooked, I even had physical mailers go out to reach as many of the club members as we could, from the very beginning of getting funding for it, to the planning, to what the signs were gonna look like. A lot of communication went out, a lot of requests for volunteers and assistance went out. You had to actively ignore the communication for this feedback to come through, in my humble opinion. This idea that these signs were not done well, or they were half-assed, or anything like that, I just patently disagree with. There have been so many people that have come to me, to Fred, to other members of the board, to say how much they like the new signs at KP and Hellyer. That's all I have to say about that. I disagree. No, thanks for all you do. I really like the Spring March Madness League and the Summer Trifecta. Work on getting more members involved in projects like upgrades and maintenance. I'm open to suggestions. Maybe create a maintenance plan and sign up list for tasks. Same of updates and upgrades, get people to commit. That's really the hardest thing. On any given workday, we have no idea how many people are going to show up until they show up. I've had pages and pages of messages from people saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. And then the day shows up and it's Jim, me, and a tank of gas. And that's our work day.
So we already did the buy-in on the one-time project, building it, doing upgrades.
Yes.
Extra repair stuff, but when it comes to the routine, everything,
Yep.
pushing the weed whacker.
Getting rid of that mustard plant. Yep. KP, make OB hazard permanent on 5. I love this one. And make it a hazard from 2 to cross the 5 fairway. I love this feedback and I would totally get behind it. So they're talking old hole 3 on Kelly Park. Make the lake bed a hazard. So you get a stroke penalty if you finish right. On the right side of hole 5. And off of hole 2, make it a penalty to go all the way to the levee. So if you land, if you're not in 2's fairway, if you end up on 5's fairway because you shank a shot, taking a penalty there and making that a permanent course OB. I could give them a lot of turnovers. A lot of turnovers on 2 end up over there, and people are walking up lines. Why? It's so for me, I think it makes the drive more technical off 3, and it punishes the whole 2 out of control turnover when you have people walking up the path on 3 blind. So like when you have somebody that can throw 350, 400 feet, they can hit that gap where players are coming up from 5's tee pad, and it's completely blind, and they have no idea that a disc is coming at them.
Okay. For the guys that are following too.
And same thing, yeah, for the guys walking on 2, I don't want them getting hit from either side. Yeah, so from a safety point of view, and then it kind of forces the shot shape of, you need that shot to come out and have that nice gentle fade to the left on 5, and on 2, it's keeping within your shooting zone. Don't shank it over into 1, don't shank it over into 5. You need to land in your fairway. You're talking about the one next to the road? 11? You're talking about the jail?
Yeah.
What about the jail?
No. So it used to have to get super.
Oh, that's hole 5, hole 7.
Yes, what's that? So it's like you have to go that direction.
Yeah, so the triple Mando may be coming back. What? I don't look. We'll see. We'll see. We got plans and things. Nothing official yet.
We got a similar thing up the Ross. We put Mandel from there to kind of see what we got.
Yeah, on holes 3 and 4.
Yeah, should.
Okay, 2 baskets on every hole at KP would be awesome. Oh, sorry, above that, create a safer 7 long tee with a new permanent Mando on 6. Oh, okay,
Over the 17 pad.
right,
to get to-
right, okay. I feel like that could also be solved by us planting things between 6 and 7. Either planting or building something, some sort of barrier between 6 and 7. I don't see us moving that T pad. For one, because it's massive and really expensive.
I think it's determined it's commanded on 6, if the 4 feet right at 3, it's true.
But even a perfect, even with a Mando, you still have, you know, the errant shot, and you're shooting into the back of someone. So yeah, the Mando from the long, there's really no line. That's the problem. Unless you're going over the top, like it's not a great line.
I assume the man are working.
Yeah, and typically when they play 6, they don't throw the Mando. So they would play the Mando from the circle pad, but they don't play it from the long pad. And again, you're running the same thing where, you know, you're playing that turnover shot from the either turnover or the sidearm up and over the left side.
I just have been nearly hit. I mean, just always like.
Yeah,
So I can see it.
yeah. I think the most cost-effective solution is to build a barrier there to protect the players on 7. And it would also punish that low shot of, okay, you now have this ginormous bush and a wall, and you've just landed next to it, and you have no shot. So you're taking the bogey on that hole. I think that might be the most cost-effective way to do it.
And those line too.
Yeah.
I'll give this 17.
Oh yeah, we could make it OB there
Like
too.
Golden Gate Park 7s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 18s and Golden Gate Park. those-
Yeah. Yeah.
You do like.
Put up a Tom Wong. Yeah, they're called Tom Wongs. Tom Wongs.
I guess you put a Tom Wong.
Versus the chalice. The chalice is the chicken wire around a tree, and the Tom Wongs are the walls of chicken wire.
Yeah, do that.
I guess we can get that 7. The Wong.
The Wongs.
I
That was the
thought
Wong
Toyons
thing.
were the challenge.
Do that.
Oh, Michael Lindsay joined us. Hi, Mike. Okay, 2 baskets on every hole at KP would be awesome. 50% of the people agree with you. The other 50% passionately do not. This is another one of those where some people absolutely love having the additional baskets on KP. I like the ones that we have. I think it does offer a lot of variety. In that you can come up to KP and kind of play it any way that you want. We have the most number of layouts available to it. When the baskets are in a certain configuration, we introduce the Enduro and the Ironman layouts again. And that's always a fun challenge for the month. But it's definitely a source of contention in the club. And there's no middle ground. People are either passionately for having extra baskets or passionately against it.
We'll put it in the next survey. Last.
I can get another survey going, but I think
What's the argument against it?
so one of the arguments against it is number one, for tournaments, having the extra baskets there can be very confusing in a tournament situation. So that's argument number 1. Argument number 2, what's that? Sometimes.
It's just a weak argument.
It-
for the silver class, there's no basket. We could put a second basket. But for a multi-player player, it's not, of course,
Yeah.
it would be.
Yeah, to keep away from the dark days, just put a cover over it.
Yeah, so that's the other.
Another object,
So that's one of the other complaints is that the short basket is sometimes in line with the long basket, and if you're playing the long basket, it's in line. My argument is that's just a bush. You just landed in the bush, you messed up, it was a bad shot. I totally get it. So those are just like, those are some of the arguments. And then from your point of view with, the baskets are removed, somebody has to go and remove those. And then they have to be stored and they have to be stored safely. And we can't store them at Kelly. We actually have to take them elsewhere.
But it makes.
Yeah.
Hold that for big tournaments because we can do that for 2 days or whatever. But yeah. just-
Yeah, but it's a lot of labor, and then you also invite. When you do that, you also invite the error of a basket forgetting to get locked, and that happened, and then I had to go fetch a basket out of the creek, and then locks ended up getting cut, and I had to go fetch 2 baskets out of the creek, so. Tired of fetching baskets out of the creek. It's not fun. So yes, I'm of the mindset that you shouldn't have to remove the baskets for the tournament anyway. Mark it on the scorecard. Hey, you're not playing to the white on this hole. Play to this one, or flip flop them. Whatever you got to do. Oyster is not a major tournament course. No.
For a major tournament, that's easy to do.
Correct.
There aren't very many major tournaments.
Yeah.
For a weekly or a monthly, you just deal with it.
Yep. We have 2 major tournaments in the year. We have the Mesmerize. We have the Silicon Valley Classic.
Is that the only thing holding it back from having 2 baskets? We have baskets, right?
What's that?
Is the only thing holding it back?
Money.
I don't know.
So baskets run, I believe they're either 600 or 700 per for those mock 7s. And we have 12 currently. We used to have 13. One of them got eaten by a tree like the week after we got it. It was awful. Yeah, it got smushed by a tree and it was non-reparable. It was really sad. So we have 12 of them. In order to have the full set, we would need another 9 to make the 21. That's $6,300, and we've opted to take that 63 and we're earmarking that for Hellyer instead, because 2024 is about making Hellyer hell yeah. And the baskets that are at KP are actually a result of an anonymous donor that donated the money for that purpose. So as part of the donation, they designated, hey, I want baskets at short positions at KP. Here's an allotment of money. And it was enough at the time to buy 9. And then they gave us another donation to buy an additional 4. And then one of them got eaten. So now we have 13 total, I believe. Or no, is it 3 or 4? That's right. Gave us 4. One of them got eaten. So now we have 12.
So what are you gonna do with the extra baskets at Hellyer?
So we're actually exploring that. We're exploring the idea of holding an auction in order to recoup some of the cost for the improvements at Hellyer, or and this is kind of my personal favorite is donating them to like a Joga Bend or George Peters, one of the teachers that we have that are actually looking to expand their schools and neighboring schools PEs to include disc golf. And so being able to give them a set of 9 baskets so they could build a course on their school grounds for their kids to play on, I think would be really, really cool. In a way for the club to do more of our mission statement of spreading the sport of disc golf. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through the youth. So we're exploring those avenues and what makes the most sense. Keep supporting and consider a get-together barbecue for team building and getting to know members who you might not have met. So that is another timeout message. Ignore, go away. We don't like you. Anyway. So
One way to do that this year, coming up, is we're gonna have our Hall of Fame induction.
Yep.
In August.
August 10th.
At
Yep.
Villa Maria, we'll do the age group like last time. That'll be a good gathering.
Yep. So yes, for those that didn't hear on the stream, we already have that in planning, August 10th. Every even year, starting from year before last. Wait, let me think about that. It was last year. That's right. Last year was our first Hall of Fame. So it's every other year. We're doing Hall of Fame inductions. The next induction will be August 10th. And part of that is we are doing another ace race and get together over at Via Maria, like we did for the 25-year party and the initial induction of our Hall of Famers. So we're going to be inducting people and holding another big get together and ace race. So that is already in the planning. So we agree with you. Can there be some type of tournament or elimination event to get a spot on the SVDGC team? I would like to participate, but I couldn't make most weeklies and some other events to get on the team. So what this is referring to is actually the Team San Jose group. Team San Jose is not actually associated with SVDGC other than a number of our members participate in that event. There have been talks back and forth between us and them to create a stronger relationship and have them be an SVDGC team. That's still in the works and discussions with limited traction thus far, but working on it. Who you want to reach out to for that is actually Scooter, I believe Nick Pantages Method, and JC are the ones that actually run the Team San Jose and the picking of that team.
Not AO.
Oh, AO, what's that? Yeah, it's Scooter. Yeah, Scooter's Andrew Bailey. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so there's like a group of like 3 or 4 guys that put together that team to go play in that event. That's who you would want to reach out to. SVDGC does not have any control over who gets picked for that. I want to say thank you to all the board members and volunteers. Your efforts to maintain the courses and run events make playing disc golf more enjoyable for me. Thank you. We appreciate that. I hear that a Hellyer overhaul is a focus for 2024. Great choice. What are the goals of this overhaul? What club member labor time will be helpful needed? Is the club announcing structured work days for 2024 Hellyer? And is there money needed to reach the goals? So these are all great questions. I covered some of those earlier in the meeting. In terms of the money, so yes, money is needed. There are a number of fundraising campaigns I'm working on putting together. Because number one, the club is not looking to just money grab from members. We are here to serve the courses, the membership, and keep the experiences that we have available for everyone. No green times, or scary, no tea times or green fees. You know, that's what we want to maintain. That being said, what we are doing, the club is picking up the tab for the baskets at Hellyer. So that's coming out of our operating budget. That's paid for. We're putting in nice new galvanized to match the baskets that we're replacing. Mach 7s, just like we have at Raza, just like we installed over at Kelly Park. They're a really nice basket. What's that?
Yeah, we don't have 7.
Yes, we do. The green ones.
The green ones?
Yeah, the green ones are 7s.
All right.
Yeah. All the new baskets that we purchased were Mach 7s. Because they're a lot more cost efficient than the Mach X's, and they don't push out as many putts. So the club is picking that up. That's coming out of our operating budget. The PO abatement, the lowest quote so far we've gotten is 14.5K. And that is to remove all of the poison oak at Hellyer. That's not a small chunk of change. I'm working on planning a 2-stage tournament that I'm calling before and after. So we would be playing the first tournament earlier in the year on Hellyer. It's a 9-hole tournament. And then you have the option of buying into both the before and after tournament or one or the other, depending on what you can make. It would be a trophy only tournament with all the proceeds going towards that project. Also looking at the possibility of doing some raffles, maybe some silent auctions. And then also, you know, opening up a donation line of, hey, if you'd like to donate for this project, here's where you would do it. And that's kind of where I'm going, with the money part of it is, I gotta raise up that much in order to cover the PO. As the closer we can get to that, the better. The tree service that we're working with, is looking at doing a full mechanical removal of all the plants, as well as all the trimmings that are next to hole one's T-pad. And that huge ginormous bush that is in between hole one's long and short T-pad. Clearing out hole 9, clearing out hole 2, all the way up to the levee. So we got approvals for all of that. Hellyer, yeah. But it's expensive. Got to pay for all the people, got to pay for the equipment down there, got to pay for the dump fees, and that's the quote that we have for that. In addition to that, we are also looking at revamping the stairs, getting those rebuilt and looking all nice again, repairing some of the T-pads that have some damage to them, shoring those up, dealing with some of the squirrel holes that have caused damage there. So we have these plans in place, but yes, it's going to require money. And yes, it's going to require volunteer time. Not for the poison oak removal, that's being professionally done, but pushing weed whackers, going out and helping us trim, coming to the work days and just doing the maintenance. That's really what we need help with from a volunteer point of view. And I'm definitely open to suggestions on how to get more people to come out to that more frequently. Some of the things that we're exploring is potentially doing, non-Saturday work days. Figuring out better ways of getting our equipment from place to place. So we are actively discussing that in our board meetings and figuring out, what changes to our existing system need to happen in order to get a better result. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that for now. And then the last one is thanks. So open Q&A. Does anybody have any questions, comments, anything that they want to share or? Yes.
Negotiations with the county and state.
City.
Or the county.
So we are currently getting together some letters. We're dealing with the city first. Jim is actually authoring a letter to give to the city to negotiate some help with maintenance and some benefits to the club and the members. And then, what we're able to do for them in exchange. So that is currently being pursued. What's that?
The letter had been sent.
Oh, so the letter has been sent, so we are now waiting for a response from the city.
That's gonna be your.
No, this is revamping from our existing agreement that's been in place for a number of years.
We don't have any.
Yes.
Hellyer Park is a big problem. We don't have the ability to handle it. We've shown that over the years. We have equipment, transportation problems, breakdown problems. We can handle all the other words, because we're not that. But Hellyer is a monster. So we're trying to get them to do the gang mowing. And either that or they have 2 vendors that have right to enter and do work at Hellyer Park. And we may want to hire them to try to get the trailer. We can handle the rough trimming of the olive trees and bushes. We really make there, because it's the city. And then, we're restricted using vehicles on work too, like Hellyer Park. So we're asking for some help that way. If we're gonna go out and spread wood chip, we don't want to have a wheelbarrow, we want to truck.
That was a fun conversation. Yep.
What is your term?
What's that?
What is your term?
My term?
Yeah.
Until somebody votes me out. That's it. You're talking about like how long someone can be a board member for?
Yeah, how that we have a meeting. At the annual meeting, you have to vote for board of directors. That's coming up. That's from your line.
What's that?
It was year by year.
It's every year, every position is available to be voted out. So basically we have a number of people as defined by our charter that can make up the board. So if more people apply than we currently have board positions for, then everyone votes, okay, I want these 11 people to represent me in the club. If you can't attend that meeting, you can always assign your vote by proxy to somebody else. Let me make sure this is recording. Hold on. one second. Board is, that's a great question. So we did have 2 people leave. Philly and DeMarco have both stepped down. And last year, the board size was increased from 11 to 13. Or no, sorry, from it was from 12 to 13. It was increased from 12 to 13 because the year prior, Greg stepped down. So Greg had stepped down. Jason and Katie were added to the board, and the board number was increased to 13. DeMarco and Philly have since stepped down. So there are technically 2 spots available, but we've had nobody apply. So I sent out emails, I sent out communications, and nobody applied to join the board this year. No, if you want to apply, then you know, come and apply. Show up at the meeting on next Saturday. Yep. Board member. We're just board members. We only have 2 named positions. That's president and treasurer. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much everyone on the board is board member.
And you are willing to do it again?
Yeah, I didn't step down. You can't get rid of me that easy. Pull me out, I dare you. Okay, cool. So this is recording. It's been recording. Yay.
Who are the
Oh, yeah. So your current board member are Jim Chalice, who's the president and founder, Tom Wong, who's the treasurer, myself, Jason Hilbert, Eric Stackneck, Katie Atwood, Derek Bonet, Fred Rodriguez, Aaron Shee, JC Quimbao, and Toby Dawson. Those are your current 11 board members. Toby's been a long time member. He's on HBF. He moved out of the area and lives up north now. But he primarily manages like the website. And
Doing e-blast.
yeah, doing e-blast, things like that. And then usually anything that like, if I have a question on the website or getting access, he helped me set up the YouTube account for the club. Because he had all the credentials, and then I was able to get those from him and get it set up. Yeah.
Date set for the tournaments next year?
We do have the date set. So Mesmerize is, in fact, those are already in the club calendar. So I can pull those up.
Are they both B tier?
They are both B tier again, yes. It means you need to have a PDGA membership to sign up for them.
Let's come on, Fred.
There we go. You guys can come on, bro. You go.
Oh yeah, we're good, guys.
Let's get a beer.
All right, give that a second to load up here. So the so the Mesmerize is the 27th and the 28th of April. Yeah. So April of next year, 27th to 28th is the Mesmerize. The Silicon Valley Classic happens in September or beginning of October. That date hasn't been finalized yet. So Nick will let us know as soon as that date gets finalized. It'll probably be much closer to the event that we know. Bag Tag Challenge is January 13th. the upside down, well, sorry, taking a step back, May the 4th, the Smugglers Run will be the entire month of May. And then the upside down will be, I believe it's July, and that's either going to be the 2nd or the 3rd Thursday of July will be the upside down. And
we're
then-
hoping that this craft age race will return in October.
In October.
Back to its traditional spot.
Yep.
Hopefully we're past the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the disc craft themselves haven't been running it. Yeah, they haven't done it. So Smitty will have information on that as soon as it's available.
Second Saturday of October.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I know we have a small audience, but don't put your number on a disc. You're not gonna get back to people to message you. After you've lost it. I have at least 50 discs right now.
Those rookie numbers. I got 120 sitting in my house right now.
Yeah, but it's only been a couple months.
I've donated like 200 over the last year.
People just don't get back and they don't pick it up.
Yeah.
Just don't put your name in the.
I have one of Chris Hughes discs that I've held on to for like 8 months now. And I know the guys, so I'm like, well, I can't just like donate the disc somewhere. I know this guy.
I got the truck's full of them right there. I need a disc. I know a guy.
Gonna interest you in a rave, maybe a PA2.
Died cat.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you guys for coming out. This was the largest turnout we've had.